Hey everybody, it's Kellen Nitro from Nitromaniac TV's wrestling channel, and this is kind of my take of all of the exciting AEW All Elite Wrestling news pretty much since the fan rally on January 9th, and of course the announcement that AEW was indeed a thing on New Year's Day, January 1st, 19. I almost said 2010. That's 9 years ago already. That's crazy. First of all, some quick thoughts about the fan rally that happened on the 9th of January in Jacksonville. Watching the live stream, I didn't get a chance to watch it live. I watched it on the on-demand on YouTube for the Being the Elite YouTube channel. And it seems like it kind of had a real football-y tailgate type feel to it. I think that's just because of the major players involved being heavily involved with the Jacksonville Jaguars of the NFL as well. But it had that vibe. It was at a football stadium too, and, you know, in the same kind of entertainment complex just down the road from where WWE was having SmackDown as well. So again, free rally to try to grab people into the AEW fold and that stuff. But with the podium and the stage and the fireworks going off and that stuff, it had kind of like a real championship team rally to it. You see the same type of rally design and that stuff with teams that win major championships, whether it be the Stanley Cup or World Series or something. Ironic that it's the Jacksonville Jaguars, but NFL nerds can attest to Jacksonville, which I don't think has won anything recently. I know they definitely would not won a Super Bowl. And now looking at the roster that AEW has coming out of this rally, I mean, we can take a look at it, and of course the obvious names are there. Cody Rhodes and Young Bucks, of course, are in the hierarchy, I guess you can call it, of AEW as executive VPs and various added-on positions and that stuff. And of course, Brandy Rhodes on top of it too, as a chief brand officer, or as the fans have been calling her online, the chief brandy officer of AEW. And I guess right there leads to the big question: will Kenny Omega sign with AEW, or will he sign with WWE? I'm going to be on the side that says that Kenny Omega, after a while, will sign with AEW. I think that might be one of the big things that happens on May 25th at this Double or Nothing. We would assume it would be a pay-per-view, if not a major debut event that they will be doing. I'd really like, this is the time and the place where Kenny and the Young Bucks and Cody and Hangman Page can really cash in on this brand that they've built over the past 2.5 years, however long this elite train has been rolling, I guess, through wrestling pop culture and that stuff. So I really don't see Kenny Omega going to WWE at this time. I mean, it's a thing where, if he does, of course, obviously, he'd have his reasons. I think he knows a lot of people there, too. I know him and Xavier Woods are really good buddies. They had the thing with the New Day at one of the comic book and video game conventions in the States. Don't want to say it's PAX. I think it was something else last year, where it was a Tekken tournament, I believe, between the New Day and the Elite. So, going forward with that, I really think that Kenny Omega will be the big free agent acquisition of maybe the spring or the summer for AEW. So I really don't think that it would pay off to announce him now, and of course it's not going to happen now at this point. I think Kenny's got to take some time off to maybe heal for some injuries and that stuff, and then I think maybe we'll hear about him in 2019. Looking down the list, and the big name that was announced at this rally, that closed the rally, was Chris Jericho. And of course, I dubbed him on my Wrestle Kingdom 13 Nitro's Take the Ultimate Freelancer. And I think that name will stick going into 2019. I think the deal that he signs with AEW, obviously, I'm not even sure if it's an exclusive deal to AEW or not, where he has to wrestle at AEW events only. I think that it might be just a thing where, yeah, AEW will use him, but of course he can probably jump back over to New Japan. He can jump back over to do pretty much anything else he wants outside of WWE now at this point, so he can tour with Fozzy and so forth. But it's a no-brainer. Jacksonville is just down the road from where Jericho and his family have a home in Florida, so it would be a pretty it'd be easy commute, I guess, for him and that stuff, especially with the announcement of the second event happening in Jacksonville that's supposed to be supporting the victims of gun violence and that stuff that'll be happening. Probably, I would think, if the first one's in May. I know that there wasn't an announcement for that second event or anything, but that might be a fall time 2019 event, if not late summer. Maybe that happens on Labor Day weekend, the weekend where All In happened last year, and maybe they do a All In 2 if this is Double or Nothing, even though this is dubbed the All In 2. Maybe the event name is All In 2 in Jacksonville or something. But with Jericho jumping on, that's still in 2019 a huge name, especially after the fact that he's just built this brand new character. I guess not rebuilt, but he's built this new character in New Japan. It'll be interesting if they have signed Chris Jericho to be the alpha Chris Jericho, or if they're going to get kind of the WWE Chris Jericho that we saw feuding with Kevin Owens with the list and everything going forward. But that's remaining to see in the months ahead. Just running quickly down the list as well, we saw a confrontation between Adam Page, the Hangman, and Pac, formerly Neville, in WWE. Pac is Dragon Gate's Open the Dream Gate champion, which is their big belt. That's their World Heavyweight Championship over in Dragon Gate. And we saw the confrontation between them. Probably main event, or one of the big matches for Double or Nothing. It seems like that it'll lead towards if it's going to be I don't know if it'll be a tournament for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, if they even dub it as such, or it could even be a completely different name of the championship, depending on if it's a television deal they have, if it's just a strictly to pay-per-view deal that they have, or if it's a strictly to YouTube type deal that they have. However, they've been in talks, and rumor has it is they have a couple of big networks looking at this company for sure. Going forward, one of them being Time Warner, which has been rumored by several sites. And other names announced at this rally, of course, MJF, Joey Janela with Penelope Ford, SoCal Uncensored, so Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, Scorpio Sky, Britt Baker. They've signed Billy Gunn as a producer, and I think somewhere along the line too, Austin Gunn is coming along with him, who's Billy's son. They both wrestled on the All In over budget battle royal in the pre-show, which of course was dubbed All In 0 Hour. That was in Chicago. That was kind of a free-for-all lead-in show leading up to the pay-per-view itself. That was All In last Labor Day weekend, of course. And of course, AEW will also be using talent from China's Oriental Wrestling Entertainment, including the Golden Hearts. I haven't had a chance, and this is a request out to you guys, I haven't had a chance yet to watch any Golden Hearts matches. And when I did the YouTube search, I couldn't find anything along the lines for Oriental Wrestling Entertainment or the Golden Hearts. I'm not sure if it's my internet's been screwy here all week, so I think they've been working on it and so forth. But if you can find your favorite Oriental Wrestling Entertainment or Golden Hearts match, throw them in the comments section below. Throw me a hot link and I'll take a look at it, just because I myself want to get a little bit more familiar with those guys and that stuff. I'm not sure if that's the same company that the two NXT signees have jumped over from. But if it holds such high echelon with the Young Bucks and Cody, I don't think that this is some federation that's out of some dude's basement in Beijing or something. I think that this might be one of the higher echelon Chinese indies that are out there. What you really don't, everybody talks about the Japanese indies and that stuff, but you don't really hear about China and its independent wrestling, obviously. And apparently it's pretty big over there, or is getting to the point where it is getting big over there. So, hey, kudos to those guys. This is going to be a huge, massive forum for them to showcase their talents and such going forward. The big concerns I have is no matter what forum or what network they sign with AEW, the big thing to me will be trying to get eyes on this product. We know as fans of Young Bucks, Cody, of the Elite itself, what sort of product they can throw forward. And there's been rumors so much on different sites and that stuff, what this product will look like. Some of them are saying that this is going to be closer to mid-80s, Mid-South wrestling style television product, which will be very interesting to see, of course, in 2019 and using 2019 technology. And being a fan of wrestling in the 2010s, the last year of the decade in 2019, of course, the technological challenges now of doing a show like that, like it definitely isn't going to be kayfabe driven. It'll be, we can anticipate and we can try to picture in our minds what the show will look like going forward. But the bottom line is this: it's gotta, if it's on a major network, it's gotta draw casual viewers to the show, and that's the only real concern that I have. And I know a lot of shows and a lot of analysts have conveyed that, and I'm with them, is that it's gotta draw the non-traditional wrestling viewer if it's on a network, especially if it's on Time Warner. If Time Warner is expecting 2 million, it's gotta draw maybe 23, or sorry, 2,300,000 or 2,400,000 for a rating or something, or 2.4, 2.5, I should say. It's gotta outperform constantly for the first few weeks, and then once it does, then maybe it might have the strength and the wherewithal to ride the dips and take the ebbs up and then down, and that's. But it is very exciting right now, because this is the first real, I want to say it's the first real attempt at somebody running opposition to WWE and giving us a almost like an indie WWE wrestling federation or style or program, if it will, since maybe Impact and Spike in 2005. Because Ring of Honor jumping to Sinclair was a big thing. Of course, New Japan jumping over to Access a few years ago and running the shows on Access was a big thing too. But I'm very interested in All Elite Wrestling, and I'll definitely be checking it out for sure. Definitely be checking out that first pay-per-view. And I assume that it will be a pay-per-view. I think that they'll be able to get the clearances across the board, national and worldwide for it. And if not, if it's going to be for a streaming service too and that stuff, we'll have to wait and see. But anyways, I'm Killing Nitro Later Days. What's your thoughts on All Elite Wrestling and what will happen with All Elite Wrestling in 2019? Throw them in the comment section below. And thanks again for subscribing and liking. Later Days, happy wrestling watching. We'll talk to you next time on Nitromaniac TV's wrestling channel.